This is Club Bijou. At one time, it was the hottest nightclub in Toledo. Hundreds would pass through its doors every weekend in search of excitement, pulse-pounding music, and good times with friends. There were some, though, who encountered far more than what they had bargained for.
It was always something a lot more than like a little tug or something.
These are the type of stairs I'm talking about that go up to a landing and then go up to the first floor.
Club Bijou was long gone now. The building was demolished to make way for an arena, but the amazing stories haven't been forgotten.
They were like walking down and somebody shoved them into the ground, or they'd be walking down the stairs somewhere down here. Like somebody would be walking down here and then like halfway down the stairs, somebody would shove them into the wall.
Yeah, a lot of people just avoided the downstairs, so.
It was May of 1999 when I was invited to the Citi Theater, known in later years as Club Bijou, to document the claims made by employees who worked there. The club's manager, Matt, took me on a top-to-bottom tour of the building, granted me unprecedented access, and pointed out all the places in the building where paranormal activity was said to have taken place.
This goes all the way back through the building, underneath it there. As you see, these large air vents was what I was talking about. There used to be an old boiler that used to fill up to about where the dance floor ends. There used to be this used to be the boiler room. Those were the air vents. There's a matching one on the other side. This is another storage room that has junk, nothing but junk.
When I heard people say things were happening, it's like every couple weeks, a month, you know, it wasn't like every day or anything. It was always like either during the day or right before we were getting ready to open up for the night. And it was always during like the kind of quiet times where it was just staff.
It was a semi-historic building located at 209 North Superior in the heart of downtown Toledo. It originally opened as the Esquire Theater in 1941. By the mid-1960s, it became a burlesque house and eventually began showing adult movies. In the 1990s, the theater was reborn as the Asylum, one of Toledo's most popular nightclubs. It would go through several name changes, the Asylum, Citi Theater, Club Bijou, but the stories of strange, haunting activity always remained the same. Trayona Wagner was a former employee at the club, and like many of her co-workers, had become intimately familiar with the half-dozen or so spirits which were said to haunt the building.
The experiences that people told me about with the two guys downstairs, I think, were always the part where people were just, it was a lot more aggressive feeling to them. Like, I mean, feeling like they were pushed, or, you know, feeling like someone was like right there next to them, like, you know, grabbing onto them or something. Everyone else, like all the rest, was just kind of like a weirdness. You know, nobody was scared of the little kid. I'm going to just say little kid because that's what everybody called the kid in the front. So nobody was really scared of the little kid. Nobody was scared of the lady up in the projector room. It's not like she was all handsy or anything. You know, the girl that came, it was always from this side of the stage, my left, it would be stage right. Like that only happened once in a great while, and it wasn't anything scary. It was just like, dude, did you just see that person there? Like, it was a very kind of, nah, you must be imagining it, you know, kind of thing. So there wasn't, I never heard of any experiences like, you know, bottles breaking or lights flickering. It was never anything like that. It was always, you know, creepy feelings or feeling like someone's touching you, things like that.
The ghost of a young boy named Billy was believed to be responsible for the strange activity that was experienced in the club's front lobby and main office.
They did say that there was a little kid that was like died out on our sidewalk, and that's usually the one everybody associates with like the pulling of the hair and stuff, or getting the attention in like that front bar area, or like probably moving of the keys. I never did research to see if an actual little kid died out on the walkway, but that was a story that people told. The office girls did have, I think, more experiences usually in that front area. Like I said, like the one girl had said like she did get like tapped on or pulled on her hair a lot.
The club's focal point was the old theater, which had been turned into a bar and dance floor. It is here where employees were often confronted by the spirits of the building's past.
They did say that once upon a time it used to be a burlesque, like a whorehouse. I don't remember what they called it though. And that's the lady that's up in the projector room is the madam of that place. So that was another story that was going around. Have no idea if it's true or not. And the same with the girl that would come across the stage. People said she used to be one of the dancers.
At the bar, a former employee named Jody claimed to have experienced physical contact with one of the entities present in the building. It is here that she experienced two separate and completely unexplainable events, both occurring in the early morning hours after the club had closed.
Like over this register here, where Jody said her hair was pulling that. You can see there's nothing to catch hair on. She said she was standing right here. And she said to me, she's like this tall. She said something was pulling her hair. And she said something threw, when something was thrown at her was from over that side at her, over here, and nothing was there when she looked.
She had been struck in the upper leg by a small object. She heard it hit the ground at her feet, but no object was found. Nothing was out of place, and no one else was around. The dance floor and main stage also seemed to be a hotbed of strange activity.
Now occasionally at this bar here is where people have said, and Jody's been the one that's seen the most, but I've had some of the security guys say, or bartenders or barback have said that they've been down at this bar and have seen something through this mirror. See how I can shine the mirror and it reflect over there? Mm-hmm. They'll see something like run across the stage, be standing out there doing something. Most of the time they'll be busy, doing something. All of a sudden on the corner of the right through the mirror, something ran across the stage. They won't see a person, they see like a light.
Some employees believe the strange lights seen on the stage were actually the spirits of past burlesque dancers. Above the theater in the old projection room, employees said they would often encounter the spirit of the matron, the old woman believed to have operated a burlesque house inside the building decades ago. They also say that the ghost of the little boy, Billy, could sometimes be encountered up here as well.
When I had to go up to the projector room, that was just always just a creepy experience anyways, because it's a skinny little hallway and then you're in this kind of room that looks over the theater. So there's just weird noises that I couldn't ascertain. I thought I heard people talking a couple times, but there was like no one up there with me. So it wasn't like, I saw anything, but it was like you turn around and like, what? Thinking someone's talking to you and there's no one there. So you're like, oh, okay. And the building's pretty quiet because there's only like 5 of us running around the building.
There were numerous claims over the years from both patrons and employees alike of being aggressively challenged by some unseen force or entity in the club's basement level, which was called the underground. Many had reported feelings of being watched, of being followed, and even being pushed while walking down staircases.
This basement level here, especially towards the back, has always been where everybody said they felt something.
It was here in the underground that employees claimed 2 male entities would make their presence known. Of all the alleged paranormal activity in the building, these 2 spirits, they say, were responsible for violent outbursts of paranormal activity. According to management, the building next door to the club was once a pizzeria that was run by 2 Hispanic brothers. As the story goes, they were killed during a violent armed robbery.
I did hear someone saying, like, once upon a time there was like a pizza place in the one next to us, or down or something, and that's where the story of the 2 guys came about that are really more active in this one particular area of the bar where people felt that they were getting pushed, or people getting slammed up against the wall or things like that.
These 2 aggressive entities are also believed to be the source of the strange voices that are sometimes heard drifting up through vents or heard in empty corridors.
There was always weird sounds in the back, like where the bar backs always went, that was all off limits to the public, that had all the cages and stuff. There's a couple times that, I was back there and it was ooky. So, of course you're going to hear weird stuff.
There has never been a shortage of stories and eyewitness accounts describing the strange activity that took place inside this building.
So, everybody just kind of shared their stories. I think that fed into a lot of other people's stories sometimes because, a lot of people want to get on board with having some kind of experience.
Club Bijou was torn down in 2007 to make room for a sports arena, the Huntington Center. And we may never know just how haunted the building actually was, but at least we will always have the stories.
It is what it is. I don't discount that people are having these experiences. I don't discount there are such things as entities roaming around that are still kind of in between planes or in this plane and aren't seen by us. I mean, there's a lot of unexplained things in the world.